Oh, there's the douche spots. There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. I don't think Mr. Portman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir? It either means he actually does have the key to his office, or the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door? How can you prove that? They swapped the fucking tiles around, didn't they? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is examine these. The prints on the number plate, they will tell us all we need to know. Everything? Really? Like what, sir? Like, well, for example... Come the fuck on, really? We know for sure Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles. Well, that's amazing, sir. How do you know? Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, that's it. Now we should get back to doing what we really need to do. And that is... Print on the doorknob, then? The print on the doorknob will tell us everything. You, pal. Do us a favour and see what you can do from this, okay? What'd you find out? There's no need to be such a belligerent, nostril-flaring detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portman and Mr. Face prints on this doorknob. So only two people's prints were found on this, sir. That's pretty decisive. I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this knob as well.
Take that!
Don't you find it odd the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean? Yes, the door Miss Bird opened could have not have been this one, but a different one. What have we here? Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman? Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Though, I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective. You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad Mr. Portsman. Trying to teach him to clean up his toys after he's done playing. I think we've reached the end of this conversation. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Hi, how about a game? That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk.
The position of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take note of this.
Yeah, the groove in the carpet.
So, the hoop was moved as part of the illusion. Smart. What's this?
Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. There's something written on it. I bought the free piece of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone. It looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up with you later, buddy.
Looks like a note from the victim.
Yeah, for Mr. Portman.
Poking down this hallway has paid off quite handsomely.
Eh? How so, sir?
In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case.
You know who the killer is? Well, Mr. Edgeworth.
As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portman.
What? Mr. Portman? I knew it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir.
That is anything but logical. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. For come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letters, sir.
All right, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Wah! Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. And the line for you, Portsman, we got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke?
It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case.
You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay if you promise to stay out of our way.
You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job. I see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl.
Haha, who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there's always this incessant chatter about false evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know.
Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because that won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up.
Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you have yet to prove anything. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad for doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here.
Sorry, but we're not finished yet.
Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something?
I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on with evidence.
Hold it!
My accusation is a harebrained idea, is it?
You tell me. I'd say it is after all.
Hold it!
Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here?
Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him.
And? That's it? That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain.
It's more than enough, wouldn't you agree?
Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means?
It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer.
Hold it!
Unfortunately, I believe I've already shown how earlier.
Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist you could not gain access to your room.
What shall I do now? Shall I raise an objection? You claim to have had no way to open my door, however, is that really the honest truth?
Haha, alright, I'll humour you. Go ahead and shoot.
Very well then. I propose you use this to open my door.
Take that!
I believe you were able to open my office door with a master key, no less.
Wait, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know.
Precisely. You're able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. Use your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key.
Take that!
You'd asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes?
Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know.
But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it?
What? You've quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain it was Mr. Portman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story.
What if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted?
Ha! And how'd you propose I did that?
By switching the number plates on our doors, for example.
That's right, they do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, he didn't use one of our things to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours and not in fact mine. What was it Mr. Portman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room?
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building, which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you.
And in the carpet.
It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a particular prosecutor.
Ah! That's fairly true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's.
There are signs the hoop has been moved. Sit in front of my office, to be sure.
I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture's a little off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me.
So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he?
I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird's as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty. I'll have you know I washed it just yesterday.
Please calm down. I intend to show who is the one who's truly covered in slime here.
Hold it!
Nonsense, you say?
Yes, because I'm telling the truth here.
Hold it!
Using the master key, of course.
Sure, you have a problem with that. But here's what the master key's for, alright?
Perhaps we should place it in a labyrinth of some sort for people like you.
Hold it!
And what were you doing in your office?
I was doing my usual training regimen.
Training regimen? Were you going through your law books from start to finish?
Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and a jog when I get the chance.
You must be the buffest prosecutor we have. With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem.
I was doing my usual workout, so...
Hold it!
I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually.
None of those would stand up on their own.
What about all the evidence?
It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence.
He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony.
Objection!
It would behoove you to take a good look at this.
I see it, but I fail to see what it has to do with me.
Is that so?
You're not on top of your game today, are you, Mr. Genius Prosecutor?
I can't allow him to set the pace here. Let's remain calm. Only by doing so can I find that flating flaw in his reasoning. Ah!
Objection!
I had your door dusted for prints.
My door? Haha, what for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure I'm good at wasting time?
You're right, I didn't find anything. Especially not Miss Bird's fingerprints.
Her prints? What do they have to do with anything?
Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, her print should naturally be on the doorknob she touched.
Ah!
Furthermore, all the prints on my office doorknob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it.
It doesn't change the fact that I was in my room the entire time.
Is that really a fact, or is it fiction?
Hey, would I lie to you?
I have here proof you were not in your room the entire time as you claim.
Looks like you're out.
Take that!
This is a note from the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman.
A note?
It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room and the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Don't you think it's time you gave up on your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did, so you had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office.
And just what's so funny, pal? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me simply is too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world.
What?
Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all. He even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all circumstantial and full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints. Well, I can readily confess I've wiped that knob down as well. I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you'd touched. Which is why I wiped the doorknob down as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example.
Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway?
Even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters. Although it's no excuse. That's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. You can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here.
Oh, Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove he didn't simply overlook it.
Besides, I have an airtight alibi.
Airtight, you say?
I only just realised I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I told you sooner. If memory serves, you came back to this office at 2 AM, correct? It was then you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Do you really think it's that perfect?
Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself.
Detective Gumshoe?
Yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him around 2 AM. You see?
All the evidence points to him being the culprit. There must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere.
Hold it!
You're correct, it was around 2 a.m.
Are you sure? It's really important to me you're spot on with the time.
I remember checking my watch then. To make no mistake, it was 2.
Oh, giving testimony like a pro. So you came back to your office at 2.
Hold it!
It is as you say, however.
However, you're the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
It was pitch black, I couldn't actually see.
Oh, come now, I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you?
I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
Hold it!
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit?
Yep. Right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Hold it!
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony.
And it's just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. A number of detectives said they saw you at around that time.
See, I have the perfect alibi. That was the ace I had up my sleeve.
Oh, impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why the sudden look on your face?
Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get out of this crazy train. You there.
Sir?
Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle.
Maggie!
Detective Gumshoe!
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If I only had a clue that I missed something that could help me cast doubt on his alibi. I need to calmly think it through one more time and with logic. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning it's entirely possible a second gun was used in my office tonight. Seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, That would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think it was the work of two different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back...
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Great, you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth? Sir, what you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not have been the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, two culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean two?
It explains why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were two guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know.
If you could please go along with my hypothetical for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario. Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked the shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his partner, Mr. Faith?
Why Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be his guess.
Oh, because you're supposed to be away, right? And they must have thought it was odd he'd come into the office to check it out.
Correct. As a detective, that would be the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith had probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then... he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot fired and the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he'd also left the fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then this would all be solved, however. There's yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated.
There was another visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen Zero file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shelf getting messed up twice and the two bullets was all because two different people were doing those things at two different times?
Precisely. And now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there's still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
He has a point. I've absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie, I'll do everything if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really wasn't just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory's correct. The thief you ran into could be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for the thief right now. They could still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. I can't be expected to know what happened around after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course! Now isn't the time to be having these dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it.
Hold it!
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
Well, why not?
It's elementary, the dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer has very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. It was after they were on there the thief stole one of them.
You mean the 0 files, right?
And that's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves?
Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe.
Hold it!
Once escaped, I hardly doubt the thief would linger nearby.
You never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after.
Huh. You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
It's something like that. I have no idea about anything, after all.
Hold it!
According to Mr. Faith's note,
I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say Jim left that note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say just before he was murdered.
I don't have any, no.
You see, I insist again, I was in my office the entire time.
didn't you go there with Mr. Faith?
That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He has to sleep on those, one of his habits.
And what of the evidence he bought?
Things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and...
Interesting, that piece of testimony really seems too crucial to sit less through the cracks. Through the cracks. A pendant. A pendant.
Hold it!
A gun and a pendant?
Yes, this gun which was the murder weapon. And this pendant, which belonged to the victim.
And why are you taking them to criminal affairs?
There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. Well, this has nothing to do with the case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find a long paper trail I left for you to be your satisfaction.
This is all matching with what Detective Gumshoe found out.
Hold it!
I can't expect you to know, can I?
Nope, because you can't you expect me to take a guess based on logical deduction.
Then let's see you deduce.
Jim waited for me to leave and stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. It was exactly as I laid out earlier.
Doesn't it say, yeah?
Objection!
Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail.
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, there's a piece I think you should read carefully.
Ah, it says Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe I got tripped by simple arithmetic.
Where's the missing piece of evidence?
It's...
You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. I have to say, sir, I'll pat the guy down head to toe.
Don't come any closer, I'm warning you.
It's all part of the investigation, pal. Don't even think about stopping me.
No! Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir.
Despite what you said, it would appear you do have something to hide.
Why do you hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. It would unequivocally point to that person himself as a real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape, I'll drive the last nail into his coffin.
KG8 incident.
KG8 incident?
That's a police case number, sir. Doesn't mean this video is evidence from that case.
Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now.
Excuse me.
What's recorded isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once over.
Oh. That's blood, isn't it?
Yes, I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Fate's blood? No, you've got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video?
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Fate have this tape on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
Even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints? If I had to take a guess, I'd say the only ones on here that would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith.
Impossible. Okay then. Mr. Portman plays under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
The results you got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back, it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on it. As a bonus, they were able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It's nothing. I'm sorry you got caught up in the murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
Oh, it's nothing really compared to what I've been through. I mean, I consider myself lucky it was only a burglary and not a murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from goddess of misfortune to just unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
I heard there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumours how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence? Huh.
They say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for really vague reasons. Oh, the guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Never got near the topic, he just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain it was to steal something.
That's just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumour some sort of huge organisation's involved behind the scenes.
Oh? Well, well. If Mr. Portman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly needs credence to that rumour. It would seem we haven't heard the last of this.
Eh? That Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather there's still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who that was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir?
Yes?
I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
This card.
What is it, sir? That a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about?
Yes, the mark of the great thief. Yatagaratsu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yagagaratsu was a noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labelled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yagagaratsu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about the thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yagagaratsu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, he chooses his chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence was found and is sent out to mass media, along with this single card. Although it's been a while since the Yagagaratsu's last appearance.
Mr. Edgeworth, looks like something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was Yatagaratsu? Yatagaratsu. Organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagaratsu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see those events coming, for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago.